In the next episode of Dying Games and Dead Games directly on release and who even asked for this game in the first place, we have one that I didn't even know about until news circulated around how low the player base was directly after release, and this one is called Unknown 9 Awakening. And although I might be a little bit out of the loop here, as I believe there has been many other mediums aside from video games that Unknown 9 and the characters have already been explored in, and these were their main means of gathering a fan base, I have really not seen anything about this property as a whole, specifically anybody wanting this to be a video game. But before we get to my reasons on why I think there isn't a lot of players in this game or what the game's even like, the reason this whole story intrigued me is because Bandai Namco is a relatively huge publisher, and they put money into this game, supposedly it's around 9 figures, into a game that I don't even think most people have heard about this property or this franchise as a whole, and maybe I'm wrong. Again, maybe I'm out of the loop on that, but it doesn't seem to me like the whole Sony and Concord situation that these developers or these publishers mainly know what they're putting their money into or know why some of these games even succeed in the first place. And before we jump into this in full, thank you guys so much for your support on the channel. We're almost at 360 subscribers. My goal is 400 by the end of this week, so if you guys like gaming news, if you like gaming reviews, and you like this video, and you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe. It helps me out a lot. I really appreciate it. Now let's get into it. So first, what is Unknown 9? Now, this is a property that's been explored in podcasts, in web series, in novels, I believe even in comics, and now we are getting a game to explore a different segment of this universe. But again, I don't know many people who know of this franchise, so it's very interesting to me that Bandai Namco would take a risk to put a lot of money into this game when I don't believe the franchise as a whole even has been explored enough in other mediums to get and garner a fan base that wants to play a game, or at least have a successful game be released to that fan base. So my assumption here is that Bandai Namco thinks this is a cool universe, this is a cool franchise, there's enough people, at least a little bit, that are going to be interested in the game, and maybe a ton of other people that haven't played this or haven't heard about this franchise can come in and really enjoy it, get immersed into the story, immersed into the characters, and then therefore get immersed in Unknown 9 as a whole. But to do this, you need to make a good video game first. You need to have a developer that can put together a good video game. And I think the best part of the whole video game, or at least from what I've seen as of right now, is that Yennefer from The Witcher is playing one of the characters in the game. And from everything that I've seen and heard about the game, granted I have not played the game, it looks like a very bland action adventure with some stealth mechanic type of game, which is so saturated in the market and has been for the last 20 years at this point. So when you're doing that, it needs to be unique, or it needs to be with a franchise that a ton of people are already engaged and interested in, kind of like Star Wars with Star Wars Outlaws. But even them, they didn't make a good game. Ubisoft didn't craft a good experience, so although a lot of people were interested because it was Star Wars, they weren't interested with the same action-adventure stealth loop that, they could have done really well. Which leads me into the next thing here, which is Unknown 9 Awakening released to 276 all-time peak players, and is now already down to 128 players, dropping 50% of their overall player base since October 17th when this game initially released. Wow. I really hope Bandai did not put 9 figures of money into this game, because then we're going back to an entire Concord situation in full, because this is a ridiculously low amount of players. I mean, if this game was $40, $50, you're not making 0.01% of that money back at that point. And looking at the Steam reviews, things don't seem much better, with only 56 reviews and 42% of the people rated this game as positive. And going down to the reviews, a lot of people received, as you can see, this product for free. Now, a couple people are saying it's relatively okay, but a lot of these people got it for free. Now, the people that didn't, this is a boring, weird, broken game, give me my money back. Got this game for free and I still feel scammed. Unknown 9 Awakening, story fine, got twists which I certainly like, graphics good to great. but the playability seems to be absolutely awful. Now, I got this game for free, and that is a good thing. Developers need to understand that every game in this day and age needs to have at least a somewhat good combat system. So it doesn't have a good combat system. Not make a dodge attack shit like this. Okay. Next, you paid AMD to show your game to their customers, and all you got in return is a negative review. At least it also came with Space Marine 2. Wow. I mean, I didn't know that. That's great. 50 might be a little steep for this AA game. Next, I got this game for free and I want a refund on the time I wasted on it. Graphics are garbage, combat's mediocre, main character stares directly into your soul with no emotion in her eyes, so probably not very good animations with the characters. There isn't much redeeming about this game. Don't waste your time or money on it. And as you can see, this guy says best PS3 game released in 2024. Luckily, Space Marine 2 came with the AMD GPU also. Why did I count 9 of the same people? Like, overall, this is not looking good. And as you can see, a lot of these people don't really seem like fans of the franchise. They just want to play a game and realize that this game is very, at least mediocre to say the probably most about this game, and bad to say the least. So now again, I haven't played this game, so this is just what I'm seeing. I am not a fan of the franchise as a whole, so maybe the franchise is awesome and they just fumbled this game, or maybe this game's actually kind of good and I just didn't play it, so all of these reviews, because they're on Steam and because it has a low player count, people are just piling on this game to shit on it. However, it doesn't necessarily seem like that for the most part, but I could be wrong about all of this. It could be a relatively good game. I don't want to say don't play this game, it's terrible, when I haven't really sat down and played it myself. However, it's not a game from everything that I'm seeing so far that I think I would really be interested in for the most part at all. And they didn't do really any marketing, or at least that I saw, for this game at all. They didn't do a good job getting me interested in this game or what it had to offer beforehand, and I think that might be a little telling. Maybe they didn't even want to market this game and wanted to just kind of cut everything off because they saw it going downhill and they just wanted to kind of get it released and move on. I'm not 100% sure, but obviously I'm not a fan of the franchise, so if I'm not already kind of in the loop with what's going on with the property and I didn't know about the game, they definitely didn't do a good job marketing this game. I literally cover games every single day, specifically action adventures and RPGs and games like that. So if I didn't know about it, most people probably did not know about it. And overall, I just thought this was an interesting story. It's another game that kind of ended up like Concord was, where a publisher, a very prominent publisher, put a lot of money into a franchise or into a game that I think a lot of the outside world could have just looked at and said, this isn't a very good idea. I don't understand how some games are getting scrapped when other games like this are actually coming out to pretty much 0 people playing them and over 50% of the people saying the game's not very good, which most of them are getting it for free. When you're getting a game for free, no matter what, especially if you're getting it with Space Marine 2, you should expect to have more than not even 300 players on launch, and if not, you probably made a bad decision as a publisher, and your game's probably not very good at all in the first place either. Thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed this random story about a game you may have never heard of. If you guys liked the video, please like the video. Comment down below if you are a fan of the Unknown 9 franchise. Am I completely wrong here? Did you play the game and it's actually a good game? I don't actually know because I haven't sat down and played it myself. Or have you played the game and you agree with what the Steam reviews are saying and it's just not worth it at all? Let me know down in the comments. Subscribe if you like this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace!